The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. And when we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. And we help hundreds of advisors, attorneys, accountants, and clients and people with their insurance needs. And we provide unique solutions, whether it's life insurance, disability, long-term care, annuities, and life settlements. So we have a very diverse practice, and people rely on us. We have completely independent decision-making. We're not bound by any particular career company, so it gives us a flexibility to provide the right solution for you and your family. And another thing that we talk about every week, and I want to say it again, you need to have a financial team around you. And if you don't have a CPA or someone doing your investments, and someone specifying doing your insurance, you need to put that team. And if you don't have a team, we like to assist in helping you put that team together so that everybody's on the same page working for you, and you can be the powerful one directing your finances and your future. And today, we're very fortunate to have with us Samantha Clark. Hi, Samantha. How are you?
Hi, Neil. How are you doing?
I'm so glad you're here. Samantha is a CEO of Centers for Wealth Preservation. Is that right?
Yes.
CWP?
CWP.
Which is also a general agency for MassMutual, very large insurance company. I think you have two offices, two main headquarters?
Two main headquarters, one in Woodbury, one in Hauppauge.
One in Hauppauge. Fantastic. The few times I love Samantha. She's very passionate about the industry, and as am I. And how did you decide, you went to college and you decided, hey, I'm going to go in the life insurance business?
Yeah.
How did that all work?
It's pretty interesting. So I was a pre-dentistry major in college.
Wow.
And then I started to have to look in people's mouths and all of those things. And I thought, I don't know that I really want to do this for the rest of my life. And so my cousin was a portfolio manager for Oppenheimer Capital. And she's so smart, and I always looked up to her and being in the financial services world. And I thought, she makes a ton of money. I want to see what she does. And she gave me an internship, which was really great. And that's when I changed my major to finance. During my senior year, I started looking around at different financial advising companies. And I grew up on Long Island, and then I went to school at the University of Buffalo. And I was flying back and forth down to Long Island and Manhattan and then back up to Buffalo. And I was offered a lot of positions in financial services. And the only one that didn't offer me a position was the one in Buffalo for a guardian agency called Alliance Advisory Group. And that CEO said to me, I've never hired someone right out of college before. You don't have a market. You don't have any type of experience whatsoever. He's like, I don't know what to do with you. And for some reason, I just said, give me a chance to prove you wrong. And he was like, okay. So that's how I got into this business. Not a great story on the reasons why, but...
I was pre-veterinary medicine, so I get it. I understand. And a lot of people, they don't understand growing up how rewarding
Yeah.
this business is. I mean, I know you've got your own story about what we do.
Sure.
I'd love to hear it. I'm
Yeah.
sure the listeners would love to hear it.
Yeah.
If you would just share that with us.
Sure,
a little
absolutely. I, the main reason why I changed into finance was not only because my cousin made a lot of money. It was also because I looked at my parents growing up, and there was always that like bill time, right? Around bill month, like week of the month or day of the month. And there was always tension, right? There was always this question about money and how much and how much people are spending. And, I always thought if there was a way that I could explain to people how money worked, maybe, right, being that 21-year-old, I could change the world and I could save marriages, right, and all that good stuff. So that's really why I got into it. And, I was really excited to learn more about financial planning, not just on the insurance side, but how everything works together. And so I was an advisor for about 9 years before I moved into a leadership position. I started in 2001. I started as, someone brand new right out of college, and I had to speak to my family, my friends and colleagues and everyone that I possibly could to let them know the good work that we're doing. And so 11 years later, I was in management. I had built a really amazing team in Buffalo. I had a ton of clients, and I was also married. I got married when I was 24. I had my son when I was 27 and my daughter when I was 30. And in 2012, I was 33 years old, and my husband died of a massive heart attack. He was 41. My kids were 3 and 6. And, that was that wasn't supposed to happen, right? That wasn't in the cards. A 33-year-old.
Did he have heart issues? Or?
Not that we knew of.
Just happened.
Just happened.
That's horrible.
Yeah, we had a big, beautiful barbecue, that day, and he started to feel dizzy. And he went upstairs and he collapsed. And it was what was called the Widowmaker.
Right.
There was nothing that we could do. We did CPR on him. I had some friends that had stayed over with us. And thank God that they were there. But that was a big shock. And that was my first death claim. He was also the first life insurance policy that I ever wrote.
Oh, wow.
And it solidified the work that we do, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That really hits home. I got into this business probably a few years earlier than you, although I started later than you. I've got a couple years on you. But the one thing that I didn't know, because I came in this business, is what a difference I can make in people's lives.
Yeah.
And I remember my son coming to me. We did a career fair at his local high school. And I helped put together this whole career thing with the school. And he was in 5th grade, they had to interview us as part of like a vertical integration of, interviewing people for different jobs.
Sure.
And my son people were handing out goodies, and my son comes with a bunch of friends. Oh, yeah, that's my dad. Yeah, great. He says, Dad, what do you do? I said, I make a difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And he said, and I wasn't financially in good spot then, because I just got into the industry. I'd gone through a lot of problems. And I said, I'm going to make sure you and your sister go to college, and if anything ever happens to me, the family's taken care of.
Yeah.
And this is what I do. I'm not a doctor. I can't fix you physically, but financially, I'm going to make sure everybody... Well, he went home that night and said to Mom, I wasn't in good straits with Mom, I've never been so proud of Dad.
Oh, wow.
That's my story.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
So I got 2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed.
I love it. But that's the impact, right? That's the impact we make.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
And I love what you do. Part of the problem in this industry today is training and people thinking that, I'm going to go on Wall Street and make $1 billion, and they don't understand the basics of financial planning.
That's true.
And there's very few companies that are teaching it like they did back when you were there. And I'm great what you guys do at CWP. It's nice to know that that still exists.
Yes.
The industry, unfortunately, has been commoditized by the public, by the insurance companies, not only commoditized, but also computerized to the point where they think they don't need people. This is a people business.
Absolutely.
So we're about ready to go on break. Samantha, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
Ooh, you could reach me at, I'll give you my phone number, 516-682-3380.
And Samantha Clark, she's the Managing Director and CEO of CWP. And this is Neil Himmelstein. Best way to reach me is 631-647-4694. You can always look at past episodes at themainstreetcode.com or visit me on Spotify or Apple if you're in your car driving across the country like my son does back and forth. And believe it or not, he listens to podcasts all the time. I didn't realize he was listening to me. He said, "Dad, you spelled that person. You couldn't pronounce that person's name." I go, "Yeah, I don't think you got the gist of the whole thing, but it's all good." We'll be right back after a quick break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. And if you were listening before the break, I'm here with Samantha Clark, CEO and General Manager for CWP, which is a MassMutual agency. And I got to tell you, it makes a difference with the company you keep.
That's true.
And unfortunately, when people buy online or they buy without an advisor, they think they always look at what's cheapest. And what's cheapest is not what's best. What I like to say about the company that you primarily work with, and I know you work with others,
Yes.
is that it is one of my favorite companies because guess what? Grandpa had that company.
Right.
Dad had that company. Mom had that company.
Yep.
When I look at people's stuff after they pass, unfortunately, sometimes, I like to know that Dad and Mom had quality.
Right.
Okay? And MassMutual to me is always quality.
Yeah.
Not just their whole life. And I'm going to tell you, I've been in the business a long time. I've seen a lot of policies. I've seen promises made by insurance companies. I've seen companies that we just have to replace because the cash value accumulation was supposed to be X and now it's Y. I don't think I've ever, in my 35 years, replaced a MassMutual policy because it's always done what it said it's going to do. And isn't that a huge value? I don't know if you found anything similar.
Yeah, I mean, MassMutual has been around for 175 years, so it's
Right.
generations and generations.
But they've kept up their dividend scale, disability. They have the best waiver in the industry on disability waiver. Even their term, you can convert it. And what does that mean? Why don't you explain what a disability waiver is on your life insurance policy?
Sure, absolutely. So if something happened and you became sick or injured and you couldn't work, but this policy was still there and we believe that you need to keep these policies in place forever, that waiver of premium allows the client to have MassMutual pay the premiums for this policy forever, even when they couldn't because they're sick or injured.
And let me tell you something. If you have a high cash value policy, and you know, one of the miracles of life insurance, no other product in the world, and you know, we don't provide product, we provide solutions.
Right.
But there's nothing else in the world that grows tax deferred. You can take it out tax free, okay, and you have a tax free death benefit. And if you put it in trust, it could be a state tax. I mean, there's no better protected product in the world. And that's because of the work you do with Fonseca, the work I've done with NAFA, and these professional organizations that have protected this product from taxation. Now, if you happen to have a whole life policy with MassMutual, and you have a disability waiver on it, and you're putting in extra money for your retirement, guess what? You have a retirement vehicle built in even though you're disabled.
Yes.
You can't do that with any 401k, any stock portfolio, anything in the world.
That's true.
I'm not saying you put all your assets in one basket. Never. But what an asset to have.
Sure.
Is to have this growing asset that's not being taxed, okay, that's credit shelter proof to a large extent, to a pretty good extent. You can borrow from in case of emergencies. which many people do. There's many politicians. John McCain borrowed $800,000 out of his whole life policy to fund his political campaign.
My favorite's Walt Disney.
Okay.
Walt Disney was able to pull money out of his life insurance policy, and that's how Disney World got started.
And I know the person who sold the Walt Disney policy.
Yes.
Okay, he happens to be one of my and actually
Yes.
have his fifth generation son now working with you.
It's amazing.
So, yeah, Walt Disney, amazing. There's amazing stories. Not only that, we have a lot of people in this market here that buy and sell real estate. Mm-hmm. And when you're buying and selling real estate or flipping houses or whatever it is, one of the things that always comes to mind is finance. Mm-hmm. Well, where am I going to put the money on the down payment on this one, and I'm doing this and that? Well, bridge loans can be extremely expensive, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, you have to apply. And I don't know if you've gone through that process of getting a loan with a bank, unless you really know a bank or you're really well off. It could be a 6-week process, this and that. If you're looking to buy a property and you see a hot thing, hey, I've got cash value in my life insurance policy. You call them up, you had the money the next day.
That's true. Yes.
And guess what? No credit check, right? You're not taxed on it. You can pay it back when you want to. You want to be careful, but there's no bill every month. And hey, I'm moving houses. There's nothing better than having the flexibility of a high cash value insurance policy. And MassMutual Whole Life is a terrific policy for doing that. We've done some of that work.
Yep.
And what a great vehicle to have. I mean,
Definitely.
the main reason you buy insurance is for protection, whether it's life insurance or disability. But there's also all these other intrinsic living benefits. It's not just if you die. It's, listen, I need to buy and sell. And
Right.
what better product in the universe is there?
It's true.
Well, I'm really thrilled to have you and Samantha's office out of all the career offices. And I know I'm not a huge career guy. If anybody knows me, I believe in having the flexibility of lots of companies. However, if I was to pick a company, and I have for myself, actually I'm going to Springfield, Mass on Tuesday for a whole day meeting. But this would be one of my premier companies that I would pick. And for all these reasons, that they've been there, they've done it, they continue to do it, and they're smart enough to adapt to the changing environment, as opposed to companies that there's a lot of old insurance companies out there that are still old insurance companies.
Right. Yes.
MassMutual is an old insurance company that still keeps up with the times.
Right. That's true.
And you need to know that, because I know some great old insurance companies, but guess what? Their dividends 20 years later aren't paying what they were. You know, they were getting 9% dividends. Now they're 4% dividends. They have loan rates on them that are like 8%, which is ridiculous. You know, MassMutual over the years has adapted, and have been at the front runner of great quality life insurance, disability, and long-term care. They had a standalone policy. They've put a lot of their policy and effort into doing more hybrid policies where you can buy a long-term care policy inside a life insurance policy, which is a much better way. I call it the stereo of insurance. Yeah, ultimately, I'd love to buy the I used to sell stereos. The turntable, the cassette deck, not the reel-to-reel, okay, not the 8-track. Even though I had one, okay. But
we won't tell.
But the turntable, the cassette deck, the turntables are coming back. The cassette decks, I don't know if they're around anymore. Okay. We had these wacky kind of turntables that could, do it on angles and do all kinds of stuff, and the fancy speakers. And today, everything has gotten so much better and cleaner. But at the end of the day, having that hybrid life policy, long-term care, is a way of saving dollars and using your dollars for multiple things. In case you don't need long-term care, great. You still have money building up in cash and a death benefit. Anyhow, we're getting ready to leave, but I want to talk about the Heart Association real quick. So,
definitely, so the Heart Association, as if you were listening before, near and dear to my heart, no pun intended. But my first husband did pass away from a massive heart attack. And, I sit on the Long Island American Heart Association board. We have a big heart walk coming up on Sunday. This Sunday, it's the 28th. We'll kick it off at 9 o'clock at Jones Beach, Field 1. This is about coming out, and it's family friendly. We have a kids zone. I'm hoping the weather's going to be nice, but it's a great, great event. And there's a ton of people that come. You can go to heart.org and look up the Long Island Heart Walk. You can donate, come walk with us, come visit, come say hi. And we're there to save lives and teach people CPR, which is so important.
Excellent. And how many miles is the walk?
It's only 3 miles, 3.5 miles.
I could do that.
Yes, on the boardwalk. It'll be beautiful.
I'm a big believer of the Heart Association. I'm a big believer in giving back, and that's what we do in this industry. And please come on out to When is that?
It's on Sunday, 9 o'clock, Jones Beach, Field 1.
Fantastic. And Samantha, how do they get a hold of you again?
516-682-3380.
Fantastic. And again, if you need to reach me, 631-647-4694. I welcome your comments, questions. If you need help, if you need to review your insurance policies, give me a call. Happy to talk to you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
The views and opinions